Remember, like and subscribe.
Swatting. Popular Twitch streamer Summit1G was streaming himself live on Twitch TV while out on a Pokemon Go search in a local park. Unfortunately, some vicious prankster who was watching his stream was able to identify the park he was broadcasting from as Monument Valley Park in Colorado Springs, Colorado. The shady viewer then proceeded to make a fake 911 call and filed a false police report that there were two men running around the Colorado park with AK-47 assault rifles.
Suspect has an AK-47 where they are. He's planted remote off in the park. One official cop.
Law enforcement officers rushed to the park to search for these alleged armed assailants. The police arrived ready for battle, armed to the teeth with automatic weapons and assault rifles. At first, Summit1G is unfazed. He simply moves to a bench on the other side of the park. He tells his Twitch audience that there's nothing to worry about. He even says this.
I'm not in my house, bro. I'm not in any danger whatsoever. I promise. The cop's not just gonna come up and point his fucking rifle at me for no reason, dude. Trust.
Unfortunately, he was very wrong. Literally 30 seconds later, police approached Summit1G and his friend with guns drawn, ordering them to keep their hands up.
Maybe we are gonna have guns pointed at us. It's not good. Oh boy. Really hope I don't get shot here.
Eventually, Summit1G's feed goes dark. Later, Summit1G tweeted to his followers to let them know that luckily, this time everything had turned out okay. Pokemon Go robbery caught on tape. One night, Aiden from the YouTube channel Aiden's Life was out playing Pokemon Go to record for a new gaming video to post to his channel. At around 10 p.m., a man approached him with a bag and ordered him to put all of his belongings inside. When Aiden hesitated, the man pulled out a large knife and threatened him.
Yo. What's up?
Shit this bag real quick for me.
What?
No, like straight up, we're gonna have a ball.
Whoa, what the fuck?
Put it in the bag.
Are you serious?
Straight up.
Yeah.
Fear for his life, Aiden put his camera, wallet, and phone into the man's bag, and the mugger ran off into the darkness with all of his valuables. Aiden called the police immediately from a nearby house and described the man. Surprisingly, less than 36 hours later, he was called back by the police and told that they had caught the thief and recovered his belongings. After Aiden received his camera and checked the recording, he found that not only did he have all of his Pokemon Go footage from 2 nights before, but he also had a video recording of his own mugging still on camera. Sex offender Pokestop. So in case you're one of the few people not playing Pokemon Go, Pokestops are real-world places in Pokemon Go that you can go to collect such items as eggs and more Pokeballs to be used in the game. While in Central California, Pokemon Go players were shocked to learn that one of the stops designated as a Pokestop in their area was actually a facility that houses convicted sex offenders. The 72-acre ranch called Sunny Acres is a sober living facility that serves as a temporary home for recovering drug addicts and recently. So Pokemon Go was actually leading young players to a ranch that houses ex-cons, drug addicts, and convicted sex offenders. Pokemoning and driving. A group of Baltimore, Maryland police officers were responding to an unrelated call when suddenly an out-of-control car speeds down the road and plows into the side of their parked police cruiser. The officers checked the car to find the teenage occupants a little dazed but otherwise unhurt. As the driver of the vehicle stumbles from the car, you can see that he shows the officer his phone. He was playing Pokemon Go while driving full speed through a residential neighborhood. Luckily in this incident, no one was hurt, but the driver could have easily killed himself, the other car occupants, or anyone else in his path. The driver simply responds, "That's what I get for playing this dumbass game." Pokemon Go lure victims. Again, just in case you don't know the game Pokemon Go, players can place what's called a lure module at a particular Pokestop in the game. What these lure modules do is emit floating pink flowers to indicate to nearby players that more Pokemon will be appearing in that area for a limited time. So late one night, a man in St. Louis, Missouri stopped at one of these Pokemon Go lures at an out-of-the-way gas station. was then approached, threatened, and robbed at gunpoint by 3 teenage assailants. Apparently, the 3 robbers had actually placed the Pokemon Go lure there themselves. The sole purpose of the lure was to attract unsuspecting victims to the out-of-the-way gas station, just so that they could rob them. When police later caught the 3 teenage boys, they found that the teens had a history of using the same Pokemon Go lure technique to target other robbery victims. It was set Pokemon Go lures in secluded areas to attract victims and then rob them at gunpoint. The crimes are still being investigated, but the teens are suspected to have used the Pokemon Go lure trick to commit at least 10 armed robberies. Unfortunately, these robberies are not an isolated incident. In fact, a similar crime took place on the University of Maryland campus, where a man named Javon Walker targeted and robbed a series of college students who were out late alone playing Pokemon Go. And finally, an extra truly scary warning about Pokemon Go. Now, many of the stories I've talked about today could have been averted if the Pokemon Go players had just used a little common sense and simply avoided playing Pokemon Go in dangerous places or under dangerous circumstances. But here's one truly frightening thing about Pokemon Go that most players are completely unaware of.
Stop!
Very scary Pokemon Go terms of service that everyone agrees to when installing the game. The terms of service provided by Pokemon Go creator Niantic Labs contains this clause. This is a legal clause that every user agrees to when signing up to play Pokemon Go. Basically what it means is that pretty much no matter what happens, you give up all rights to sue the makers of Pokemon Go in open court in front of a judge and jury, or join in any class action lawsuit against the company. In the event of any legal problem or disagreement involving Pokemon Go's publisher Niantic Labs, you have to privately pay all of your own fees and expenses to pursue them in a process called legal arbitration, where an arbitrator decides the outcome. And guess who gets to pick the arbitrator? That's right, it's Niantic Labs. So the company who makes Pokemon Go gets to pick who decides if your case against them is valid or not. So say there's a massive data breach and all of your personal information is exposed to the world. You can only go to arbitration. And if Niantic's personally chosen arbitrator decides that you're wrong, that's it. You get no second.
Alright, well, that's the end.